Matthew writes, did you see James Gunn has a big movie star who wants the Batman role in the DCU? All right, yes, I did see that. Thanks so much for the question. Breaking news, I know. Big movie star wants to play Batman. Shocking, right? No, but Gunn did come out and say that there are several people who are interested in the role, and that one of them is a particularly well-known movie star. Gunn didn't say that that's who he's leaning toward. He's not sure who he's going to go with, but he was like making the point that there are like several people who are interested. There are several people that he has in mind that very well like may not end up being Batman. And he even gave the example of having had people in mind for Superman, but then he ended up going with David Cornsweet. So I think he's saying he's really open to who he picks, and he probably wants to have like a strenuous audition process. Now, my guess for who he's talking about, and this isn't just my guess, many are having the exact same thought, that the big movie star he's talking about is likely Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal has been in the running for Batman going all the way back to like the early 2000s with Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. It's been reported that Gyllenhaal was considered for the role before they like settled on Christian Bale. It's also been reported that Gyllenhaal was considered for the role in the DCEU when Ben Affleck was looking to step down from Batman. And apparently, Matt Reeves, director of The Batman, also met with Gyllenhaal early on in development after Ben Affleck had already dropped out and before Matt Reeves had decided to go younger with his version of Batman. And that's when he, of course, cast Robert Pattinson. And yes, if you didn't know, Matt Reeves, his The Batman, it was originally a very different movie that mutated from a Ben Affleck written and directed film that was also going to be called The Batman, with him starring as the Bat as well as writing and directing. And then that turned into him just starring as Batman and Matt Reeves coming in to direct. And then eventually Ben Affleck was just completely out. And Matt Reeves ended up doing his complete like own thing separate from the DCEU, new Batman, new everything. And it's probably like it's very well the case that it is totally the case that they always knew that Ben Affleck was not going to be a part of the Batman once Matt Reeves came in. Like that ship had sailed. He was already like saying I'm out. But I think it's clear that Warner Brothers asked him not to say that he was no longer going to be Batman at that time because they had the Justice League coming out and they didn't want Ben Affleck saying, "Yeah, I'm not Batman anymore," before their big Justice League movie came out. So, anyway, little history for you there. Now, in Hollywood, this is actually really common for like an actor to be up for a role, not get it, and then when the role comes back around, them to like almost get it again or actually get the role. Henry Cavill was almost Superman in Superman Returns, but he lost out on the role to Brandon Routh. But then when the opportunity came back around, Henry Cavill did end up getting the role for Man of Steel. Now, Gyllenhaal, he is a guy who has not only been a Batman contender, but he was also almost Spider-Man in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 when it looked like Tobey Maguire may not return to the role. So, what are my thoughts on Gyllenhaal playing Batman? It would be fucking awesome. He's a very talented actor. He's one of the best. I mean, he's one of the greats. Like current working actors today, Gyllenhaal's one of the best. And I think he's got the look, both for Batman and Bruce Wayne. We know he can bulk up. Uh, he's 44, so I mean, I think he's like the perfect age for the brave and the bold style Batman that James Gunn is going for. We know Batman is supposed to have like a teenage son, so he's supposed to be a little older than Superman, but not like super old. Just like a 10-year gap between the two. We also know that in the DCU, which was confirmed by Creature Commandos, that Batman has been around for at least 15 years prior to like the modern day DCU. So again, that lines up with what Gyllenhaal could bring to the role. So if they do announce him as the DCU Batman, I think that would be great. My only concern is I do kind of like the idea of a lesser known actor playing the DCU Batman so that Batman is the focus, not the big name playing him. But really, that's just me playing devil's advocate. I mean, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, they were all big names who have played Batman. So I really don't see an issue with casting a big name. I like Gyllenhaal. I think honestly, he'd be like maybe my number one pick. Jensen Ackles would also be another great option, though. I do have faith that whoever they end up casting, it will be perfect casting because James Gunn never misses when it comes to casting. He is a phenomenal writer, great director, just a great filmmaker overall. But I would say the number one thing that he is good at is casting. He never misses with casting, and he always makes sure to have this great relationship with his cast. And he's also pretty notorious for recasting characters if the actor that he had chosen just isn't working out and delivering what he had envisioned, such as with Vigilante in Peacemaker season 1 and Michael Rooker's character in Peacemaker season 2. He was originally played by another guy. So in the midst of production, when he was getting dailies, Gunn realized, okay, that's not what I was going for. I'm going to bring in someone else. Now, for something like Batman, they're going to do a lot of screen testing, read throughs, film and edit entire scenes in costume, chemistry tests. So Gunn will know for certain that he's got the right guy before he pulls the trigger on an official casting for a huge character like Batman. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this down in the comments below. Would you like Gyllenhaal as Batman? Did you have another big movie star actor in mind? Did you have a smaller name in mind that maybe we haven't heard of? Let me know down in the comments below. Or hey, maybe you're holding out hope that Robert Pattinson will play the DCU Batman. All right, next, this one comes to us. Hey everybody, Colton here, and this is the mailbag style show where I take your questions about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, movies and streaming in general, whatever you want to ask, send it in at the email address askcoltonnow@gmail.com, link in the description below, and maybe you'll see your question featured right here on the show.